Okay, we are talking about our awakenings. Our awakenings in a world that doesn't believe awakenings are a real thing.
Right.
Why is this? Well, because most people believe consciousness is a byproduct of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Right.
But we know that's not what really be going on.
No, that's not what really we go.
Not by a long shot.
Right.
And fortunately for us, the quantum physicists of the world, thank y'all so much for doing this amazing work, are setting the record straight. And the irony is, this work has been out for some time.
Right.
Nothing we're saying is new. Like, not one thing you'll learn today is something that isn't already known out here in these streets.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that indigenous people understood this long before there was ever an idea of quantum theory.
Yes.
Yes. Because obviously it wasn't thought of or said as this is quantum theory. It was just understood
Implicitly. Yes. Yeah. Cellular knowledge, as it's being called now.
Right.
Cellular knowing, rather. A cellular knowing. And what does that mean? Well, I can talk to you about my cellular knowing.
Right.
So, a little bit about me. My story is grew up Catholic, white Catholic school, only black kid. On Wednesday, that's Monday through Friday, going to mass during school, learning all of it, confirmation, white Jesus, white Mary, right, white everybody, okay, pray to the white people.
Right.
On Wednesdays and Sundays, it was black Methodist church. So on Wednesdays, we'd go do choir practice, which I loved. I love singing in the choir. And then Sunday was actual church. And basically, this brought me up kind of like everybody else. I'm not ashamed to say the Matrix done got me. I was in it 100%. Celebrities are who I look up to. That's who I want to be. I want to have a bunch of money. Everybody is separate. And that's it. I was what's called, people call it a realist, but really it's, if you don't understand that everything is energy and everything is connected, you are actually delusional, because that is what's the truth. But I called myself a realist, and a material realist at that. So if I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Right.
With save for the few exceptions gravity and Wi-Fi, perhaps. I could understand, okay, radio signals, I get that, but that's still just we don't think about that, whatever.
Right.
So that really led me to just become very hurt by the world. Okay. Cue Ferguson in 2014, when that happened. That was really the straw that broke the camel's back for me, along with this question that people get shamed for a lot, which is if slavery happened, how is there God? There's a lot of shame going along with that, but that is, I feel, a lot of people's train of thought. If this was allowed to happen to us, our people, how the hell is there a God, right? And let's not even get into how the critical thinking that's missing in terms of why are we practicing this religion that was given to us by our enslavers? How does this make sense? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So in 20...
So you were going through a lot of duality at that point of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was the deep hurt of in this world that we live in, who is able to see me as a human being and see me for who I am on the inside, what I have to bring and know and share and offer, when it's being shown to me over and over and over that people will only take me for how I look and then run with that, and that's it. It was less, for me, it was less oh, I'm sad because I'm black. No. But if you went down that journey, that's okay here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. But
there's a safe space for you.
Absolutely.
When it comes to
like,
that.
we're just not doing the shaming of any of that. Like, it has to air out, or it will by force. And we'll get there, because that's what happened to me. So
Yeah.
it's like, my thing that was happening to me was, if no one can see me, what does it matter that I'm here? And what does it matter? I might as well just not be here, like, or not try, or I know the outcomes already, because the statistics say XYZ, you know, the sociology course says I'm not going to get a loan for my housing and then I'm going to die. Like, that's what college said. I went to University of Missouri. Like, I remember leaving class one day looking for a therapist immediately, because I was actually, like, going through a panic, like, having panic symptoms, because this was, like, the reality, okay? And everybody else was like, yeah, what are you surprised? Like, Black folks, like, you surprised? Yeah, well, you're still too happy, so come back, hang out with us when you're sadder. Like, that's a whole thing, right? You can't be, like, a happy little light sometimes. Yeah. It's triggering.
Oh, boy.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And it got me, ultimately. So ultimately, my light did go out. I was like, this is a hell space. Okay. So then in 2014, everything got 10 million times worse for me. I had a mystery head pain kind of just descend on me one day after a few other catastrophes. Like, I was fired from my job for a mistake. This white boy I was dating left me, which is a whole thing.
Yeah. I should say so.
Yeah. And it all kind of just came spiraling together. The head pain descended, and it was like that. Thus began this huge 6-year journey of going to the doctor, having clean blood work, clean test results, nothing being wrong with me in my corporeal form.
Yeah.
So what is it, right? I mean, I brought medical professionals to the end of their rope in terms of what is wrong with you.
Right.
Okay. So, and we can talk about, like, my poor white therapist, you know, she was out of her depths from the very beginning, but that's a whole nother thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So 2019 is when all the fun happens, because, you know, the pain just escalated. It was already at like 100,000 out of 10, you know, from the beginning. Right. So now in 2019, one night, it amps up even more. So I'm coming back from the ER, you know, they know me, oh, she's here again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And turned me away. Nothing's wrong. Blood work is clean. You're fine. And I'm, like, literally crawling into my apartment, like, this is it, you know, like, this is it. I need something to change now, or I'm just out. I can't sustain this anymore. Like, I made the bargain. I'll go through this so that no one else has to go through this for whatever reason, whatever that meant, which I got the download that was kind of what, like, ancestral clearing could have been a little bit, just, like, going through that.
Did you feel like, did you even understand what the download was at the time? Because, like, you know, we say download and know what that means.
Right.
When you know.
Right.
For people who wouldn't know, a download it's just like a sudden understanding of something. And nobody's telling you. You might hear a little voice, or you might have a feeling, and it's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, but did you understand even what a download at the time was?
Before this exact point that I'm going to get to, like, not at all, because the other thing about me was, like, miss me with your download, intuition, tarot reading, astrological. Like, if someone came to me before 2019 talking about, you know, trust your intuition, I would have literally, like, just, like, shanked them with a knife, like, immediately. I was in despair. Like, I could say angry, but being angry from a place of despair out of love for your people is much different than, you know, I hate myself when I'm sad. Like, there's something called shout out to Dr. Jennifer Mullen of Decolonizing Therapy, who I absolutely adore, Sacred Rage, which it was the catalyst for
those
all
are the
of this.
like, I'm telling you, the entire time that you're talking, or that you were talking,
yes,
that is what's happening in my mind. That
yes.
is the actual term that was running through my mind, is that you were having sacred rage. You were in the moment of like, and then for you to be in a space where nobody could diagnose
nobody
it,
could clock it.
and
yes,
and you have a bunch of white doctors and you got white therapists. They don't understand the ancestral aspect of it. There was no way that they could clock it because they're not coming from that space.
Oh my gosh, that's so dead on.
So that's so wild, because you were just seething.
I mean, I had been foaming at the mouth since 2014 in ways that it's like inarticulatable. It's unspeakable how full of sacred rage out of the despair and anger and out of the injustice that I felt for Black people, Black life, people of color, the global majority, like all of it. Okay, so I'm crawling into my apartment one night, 2019, and I'm like, this is it. Okay, so my mentor at the time, shout out Dan Owens, love him so much, he gave me this book called You're a Badass at Making Money. And on the surface,
I remember that.
You remember this book? Yeah. Oh God. On the surface, it was about, making money. And she talked about this thing called universal intelligence. And I loved it. It was the first time I had ever heard of anything like this. Universal intelligence. Like, it's everywhere. It animates all things. Like, I could really get down with that, because by this time I was a nihilist. I had been through Catholicism. I had been through Methodist. I had taken Eastern world religions, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But, look at the world. Look around. Look at what's happening today.
Yeah.
If you're a nihilist, I just can't blame you, you know?
Right.
So in this book, it was saying, to go to the next level, to like make money, you have to kind of detach from who you are and step into something new. And it gives you mantras to do. And as I was on my last limb, the mantra I chose was, I let go of what no longer serves me. So I was just on my knees on the ground with this book. I let go of what no longer serves me. I let go of what no longer serves me. And within 5 minutes, I felt a just blow out of the back of my head, to the point where I thought, you know how when you wear like a hair tie maybe, and it will have you ever had like a hair tie pop it while you're wearing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a force. It's a force. So I thought something like that.
Knock you in the head.
Yeah, but I didn't have it. So
yeah.
I literally looked down on the ground. I'm looking for something that has come out of me.
Right.
But there's nothing there. And it was, instead I found just the feeling of worthlessness, or the feeling of anger, and just a few other feelings is what I felt. And from that moment in 2019, where this pain blew out of me, and I know what it is now, and we can get into all of that.
Right.
The 6-year head pain was gone in that moment.
That's crazy.
I mean, this is the biggest miracle of my life.
Yeah.
That's all I can describe it as. I mean, we could also call it, of course, timeline jumping, quantum jumping.
Yeah.
And we can really get into what happened in that moment. But that's what freed me of my 6-year ungodly, disgusting, horrific, very expensive. I mean, I went into tens of $1,000s of debt looking at specialists, x-rays, MRIs, brain scans, all of the stuff that you get into. Right?
And all you needed was a shaman.
Thank you. Right? At the end of the day, where are these people?
Yeah,
but
you just needed a spiritual intellect to tell you, actually, and you would have been done. And it might have and it might have cost you anywhere from $200 to $500 to like talk to a person.
The joke of it all is like, I would have never sought that out though.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Fuck those guys. What do they think they're doing with their woo-woo motherfucking bullshit?
Yeah.
Get that sage fucking out of here before I kill you. Like, that's what I was on.
Yeah.
You couldn't come within,
I feel you,
300 feet of me with no shaman bullshit. So I say that to say it's like we've gone from being a nihilist, growing up Christian, believing in God, falling out with God because what the fuck, being a nihilist, everything is chaos, to, and this is now we're back at the cellular knowing of it all.
Yeah.
I knew immediately when this was happening a few things. And this is where it gets kind of creepy cool or like spooky cool, and not in like a negative polarity, but in like an actual quite cool polarity.
Right.
I knew I was a star being. That's what I immediately knew. I knew I was a star being. I knew that everything was light. I knew that there are multiple dimensions and that they are aware of us and watching us and around us and with us. I knew that I was the sole reason for everything I had ever gone through. I know that we are all from the same single source of light.
Right.
And it came from no one else other than me. No one could have told me this. And if they did, I would have probably killed them again. Like I would pop them because what the fuck. But that's what it was. And that knowing, I've not been the same since. And this was in 2019, and I'm grateful to it every day.
Yeah.
And then the fun part is when you pick up books to kind of just get yourself back into that vibration.
Yeah.
They'll say stuff like, everything is light and light is a frequency. There are multiple, like it reconfirms this, which I get chills every time because like, ooh, what do you mean?
Because it's the thing of like we've been talking about the cellular knowing, and then to like, there'll be times where I'll pick up a book or I'll watch a video or something, and they'll say something that I have never said out loud. I have never seen anywhere else. And they'll say something that oh my God, yup.
Yes.
Yup. And it's just because, you're on the same vibration of the other this person or whoever it is that is disseminating this information. And it's really, it really is chilling.
It's chilling
in a good way.
Yeah, it's chilling in this good way. So that was, that is the story of my awakening, and for the most part.
Yeah.
Would you like to share?
Yeah.
About yours and how that went for you?
Yeah. Firstly, like that is a wild story.
It is wild
because it is really, it's really a testament to how little Western medicine doesn't understand like the mind, body, spirit connection, because like they're just looking at your corporeal form.
Yeah.
They're just looking at the cells. They're looking at your skin. They're looking at they may even go inside because they're doing MRIs and CAT scans and x-rays and stuff, but they're not talking to your soul.
Oh, because there's no such thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there are doctors that I have talked to that, I know that they, even though we haven't like sat down and talked about it, I know they rock with it a little bit. Because
the safest you'll ever be.
Yeah. So my spiritual awakening.
Yes.
I've had several. Actually.
I hear this is a common.
Yeah. I've had, because like you talked about like, the whole Black Lives Matter situation, and like from 2014 all up in that space. I was also going through it. But I will start with my first one.
Okay.
And I'll try to make it, not so in depth, but
we'll go for it.
So the first one was when I was 26 years old, and my mom passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a mother's girl, like a mommy's girl.
Yeah.
Because I was the youngest child of my mother, and then like my brother had passed away, like, you know, a couple of years before my mom passed away. So she was like very zeroed in on me. You know, one of the things that she said, like a year after he passed away, she was like, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. Like that kind of thing, which, you know, was a lot to put on a girl, but
yes,
but also very sweet. And, you know, we were leaning on each other, obviously. Yeah. And so when she passed away, that was like, oh my God, like when I tell you, I don't even remember the trip home. Like,
I believe you.
Like, my aunt's friend used to work for the airline, and she was just like, I got you a bereavement ticket. You need to get to the airport. I don't remember the car ride. I don't remember getting on the plane. I don't remember arriving. Like, I just don't remember any of that. I was not here. But I know that my friends at the time got me to the airport. That's what I do know.
Yeah.
And there's a whole story about that. But anyway, so a couple days after it happened.
Yes.
I'm sitting in my cousin's room. I'm not thinking. I am cognitively not aware. I'll just say it like that. But I'm just, you know, kind of trying to find things to keep my mind occupied. And my cousin had a bunch of board games. And so one of my favorite board games is Scrabble. Because I am a linguist. I love words. So I'm just like, I picked up the Scrabble box, and I'm like, I'm just going to play Scrabble by myself. I don't know what I was thinking.
Anything.
Literally anything. So I pick up the bag of tiles, and I dump them out. And among the tiles is my mother's name spelled out.
Tell me how.
So
what do you mean?
What do you mean? I'll tell you what I mean. I mean that it was spelled out very clearly. My mother has a very unique name.
Number one.
It's Tawana, Twana. So it's not Anne. It's not Mary.
Yeah.
It's Tawana.
Yeah.
One. And it was, I mean, like, all the letters are all spilled out, and it is just, you know, like, arbitrarily, but it's there. And the only thing that I had to do is that the W was upside down, and I just turned the W up right side up. And I was like, oh my God. And I sat there for a second.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. And then I go, my cousin was in the room with my aunt at the time, and I go and get my cousin. I just hold her hand, and I said, you know that I would never lie to you, right? Because we're really close.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
You good?
And I said, come with me. And so we go to her bed, and I point, and I said, what do you see there? And she looked at it, and she looked for a second, and then she was like, no.
Jaw on the floor.
Yeah, she was like, no. And I said, yeah. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, you didn't? And I said, no. I just dumped it out. And so she was like, what the hell are you talking about? So that was my moment.
Yes.
Because before that,
I was just about to ask, like, I want the contrast of, like, how you were moving through the world before that moment. What was your orientation towards any kind of spirit, any kind of, like, you know, just the realms?
Yeah. So, like, before that, I didn't grow up super religious. Like, my family was very just like the antithesis of religious. Like,
really?
Yeah, like no religion. Like,
no church.
You know, we went to church for like Easter or whatever, like that. But it wasn't
Okay.
but it wasn't like,
Say less.
you know, God and Jesus and stuff. I didn't really know what was going on. I feel like I had like a semblance of having a fear of God,
Sure.
but not understanding like what it was.
So was God part of you or outside of you somewhere?
Very outside of me.
Exactly.
Very outside of
Exactly.
me. Very much up here,
up
looking
in the
down at
sky.
me. You better not do anything wrong.
Wow, Santa.
Did you just say Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Really?
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking before you said that, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
very much like Santa Claus.
We do that a lot. We do that
We
a lot.
do that a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
We have a real mind connection. But anyway, it was Santa Claus for me. Like, God was Santa Claus. And so that's as far as it went for me.
Perfect.
I was very much agnostic. I wasn't really sure what there was.
Yeah.
I believed there were things. I believed in ghosts and spirits and stuff, but not like really like investigative of that.
Okay.
You know, I was always into I grew up watching the X-Files. It was like my shit, right?
Yeah.
So I believed. I want to believe, you know? So like that was my thing. So before that, I didn't have like a real foundation when it came to spiritual things.
Yeah.
And now my mother's name is spelled out in tiles arbitrarily just because I'm fucking chilling and trying not to think about the thing. And it just blew me.
I love that.
So,
no such thing as coincidence.
No.
No.
It's just and it's an order that's unordered. You know, it's like
Get into it.
it's like disordered order. Like, I believe that the things that happen because they must, so that you are supposed to pivot in one way or another. That's the quantum thing, is that there are so many doors that are open and you pick the path. It's like, you know, you can decide to go to this school or you're going to go to this school. If you go to this school, you're going to have these opportunities and that'll lead to this job and that'll lead to you meeting this person. Or you go to this school, you don't get a particular job, you don't meet that person, and you do something completely different. There's all of these different things that just choices in your life.
Yes.
And so I could have chose to look at that and just be like, whatever. But it totally threw the door open.
I feel like something switched open in that moment.
Very much so.
I feel like it's less you could have like chosen to just be like, oh, whatever, but it really struck you as
it struck
something.
me, it hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
And then, so
that's an inside thing.
The whole years, I'd say, after that, all these very like synchronicities happened, and things that you can't explain away. Like all of these, like, and I was like, this is my mother doing this stuff because my mom is a Virgo.
Hey.
And if you don't even know anything about Virgos, they are very particular about certain things. Meticulous, very much moving things like in order. And I think that my mom knew that I was struggling and was like, well, here you go. Because, and here's an example of that.
Yes, please.
So there was a point where, you know, she had life insurance and I was grieving for a fucking year.
Yeah.
And I just used up that life insurance and grieved for a year. And so, it was running out. And so I was like, well, I got to get a job. Because I had been laid off. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. But I got laid off from a job. Yeah. And I was I was laid off from the job when I was going to quit, because it was like right after my mom passed away, and I was going to quit. But then my boss called me in the day that I was going to quit and laid me off instead. And then I got to collect unemployment.
Oh, you wouldn't have gotten that if you quit, right? Oh, yes.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, stuff like that was happening all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anyway, the year had been up after I was like finally able to come back to my senses, and was running out of money. And so I was looking for a job, and I went to this cafe that's no longer there, but it was in Lincoln Square. And I was sitting at my laptop, and I was going over my resume. And at the time, PCs and Macs didn't really talk very well together.
Like, still don't.
but it was way more complicated then. And so like if you did a MS Word doc, sometimes it would fuck up your it would jumble. Like if you, because I'm using a Mac, and if I sent that to a PC, it would be all fucked up. Yeah. So there was this dude who was sitting next to me, and he had a PC, and I was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I send you my resume so that you can see if it's all jumbled and stuff?"
It was really like that.
It's really crazy. I'm dating myself, but that's exactly what happened. And so I was like, "Can you see whether or not it's all jumbled?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I send it to him, email it to him, and he looks at it. And I go get something to drink, and I come back, and he looks at me, and he's like, "Are you looking for a job?" Huh? And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "I have a friend who's looking for people right now.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in talking to her?" I said, "Yeah." What's
Love it.
I said, "Yeah. What's the job?" And he was like, "Oh, it's working for the government."
Okay.
It was literally like probably the shittiest job I ever had, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I needed a job. I needed some money, and also it was working for the government. It means that I get that's good money for that. So so he was like, "Let me call her." He called her, gave her my number. She called me. I was sitting in the bathroom of this cafe talking to this woman. This is all the
same day?
Within the same 15 minutes.
Wow.
I'm talking to this woman, and she's like, "Yeah, like I'd love to have you come in for an interview because we're trying to find some people as soon as possible. Can you come in next week?" Yeah, I can. So I interviewed for it. The next week,
yes,
she's like, "You seem very fine, but we do have to do checks.
Yeah,
we have
course.
to do like the screening or whatever, because it's the U.S.
government job.
It takes about 3 months."
What?
Yes, it does. So she's like, "It takes about 3 months. Would that be okay?" I had enough money.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had to,
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, I think that'd be fine. 3 months, whatever." So when I tell you, the 3 months was up.
Yeah.
Like it just hit 3 months. I had about $1,000 left.
Yeah.
And she called me and she said, "You got the job. You're cleared." Just in the nick of time.
Timing.
That's what I'm talking about. This is, I wish that I could explain away, because I am also a realist. I am also a skeptic. When it comes to these things, like, I'm not just like, "Oh, woo woo," and yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We are the last people that were woo woo about it.
That's the thing.
From where I was coming and from where you were coming.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Like,
no,
I believed in
no.
something, but I didn't know what it was that I believed in. And then these things start to happen, because that's just, when I tell you that's just one thing, there's so many things I've forgotten them.
Yeah.
And then even to today, there's been so many things that have just happened, and I'm just like, "Oh, I didn't have to worry about that at all."
Your timing is something to behold, though.
It's crazy. Timing is crazy. And so, like, this idea that we're we're constantly making executive decisions about our life.
Mm-hmm.
And you can choose to stay in the state that you're in. Like if you're in a state of detriment, if you're in a state of fall, then you can choose to stay there. I don't believe that we're all like resigned to our fate. Our fate is our own.
Mm-hmm.
We make the choice.
We make the choice, and the joke is thinking you don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people believe is like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, your life is your life and you don't have a choice. But it's like, yeah, dude, you absolutely do. And that's where, like, you know, we'll get into that much later, but like manifestation and like, you know, the theory of just having a belief or holding a belief and not wavering on that belief, knowing full well that like whatever it is that you are thinking has a frequency, whatever you speak has a frequency. So if you're constantly saying I'm not good enough, I suck, I'm whatever, that's accurate.
It's like, yeah, whether you think you can do a thing or not, you're right. Like we have, as Black people, all of these, as Black Americans, have all of these proverbs that are just cultural proverbs that hold all of this wisdom.
Right.
Yeah, except I was always like, oh, fuck all that. You know, like.
Yeah, and so like when I go back in my mind and I think about like, because the through line with it was just discovery. It wasn't about like, oh, now I'm this spiritual individual. It was literally, I'm discovering something. I'm a very curious person at nature. Like, and so I was just like investigating, like, what does this mean to, you know, have a moon ritual? What does it mean to venerate your ancestors?
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean to like, you know, go within and meditate and like excavate all of these like deeply held beliefs that weren't even yours.
Didn't even know you had, thought they were just part of the program.
Yeah, you just are like, we are supposed to just work and then die. Like,
yes, like you say that and it just has me think of like meditation. Oh, right. What is this again? Like woo fantastical. Like who has time for that? You know, like I'm late for work, I need to run down the street and go to work. Dude. Like meditation
is, people think that you sit cross-legged and sit for hours and hours. I can meditate while I'm washing the dishes.
Exactly.
Like you can meditate for 2 minutes. It's not about sitting there and, you know, being lifted off the ground and ascending, which people do, like yogis and stuff, like people who got time to do all of that. Yeah. They ain't got no job and they are out in the woods somewhere and they are taken care of by their government. We're not.
Sure, yeah.
But you can do all of that without having to spend, like the intention just has to be there. It's just about intending to get to the bottom of where you're at. And that's what happened with you, is that you were just like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. I'm letting this go. I have to let go of what no longer serves me.
Yeah. Whatever it was,
it's got to get out of here.
Back against the wall.
Yeah. Because I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And you went into a meditative state. You're talking to yourself and that poop, that little pop was like, yep, you're done. But I also kind of want to mirror that story that you talked about the pop.
Yes, go for it.
Because I used to, so like just before my mom died, I would get terrible anxiety. And it happened one time, the first time rather, it happened on the train on my way to work. And I remember saying to myself, I have so much to do today. And all of a sudden I got this huge pain on my chest. And I was like, what's that? And I'm in my 20s at this point. I'm not having a heart attack. What's wrong with you? So I'm, you know, I go into work. I'm still having the pain. I go home, I'm still having the pain. This is like this for 3 days. And it's just like this is on the left side of my body. It's really tight. It's going down my arm. It's the whole thing. It's the heart attack.
Yeah, that's scary.
I'm on WebMD. Like,
oh no,
that was the thing to do back
then. It really was.
On WebMD.
It really was.
So I'm on WebMD. And finally my boss was like, you know, because I was telling him what was going on, and he was like, I have a friend who is a doctor in Evanston. I want you to go see him. And he was a cardiologist.
Okay.
So I go to him, and the whole rigmarole. He does an EKG, like, listens to my heart, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, your heart is great. Your heart is fine.
Oh, my God.
You're absolutely fine. Like, you're very healthy for a healthy 25-year-old, 26-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense.
Nope, never does.
So probably for the next week, I'm still experiencing this, like, you can't have a heart attack for 3 days.
Right.
And you sure as hell can't have one for a week. But it just would not let up, and it was so intense. So finally, at one point, I like had, it was so bad that it was like radiating up to my head. And it was so bad that I like called 911, and I'm on the phone with the responder.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, I can't have you pass out. You got to make sure that you're awake for when they come. And I was like hollering because I was like, I feel like I'm going to have an aneurysm. I was like losing my mind, dude. It was fucked. And so finally,
I know it well.
So finally the ambulance comes. They come and get me. I go downstairs. I'm refusing to go into the ambulance because I'm so scared that I'm not going to come out of it. Like, that's how jacked up it was. And so finally one of the EMTs was like, you're going to be fine. I'm going to be with you the whole way, but you have to get into the ambulance because we're here now.
Yeah.
And we got to take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
So she held my hand. She put a blanket over me. And she was like, you know, like saying you're going to be fine, whatever. So I get to the ER and I'm sitting there with the doctor.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I called my mom and she was just like, what's wrong with you? Why are you, you know, what's been going on? Why are you feeling like that? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like something's wrong. So the doctor comes up to me and he goes, you know, he's just going through the whole thing. He's telling, you know, he's, you know, doing the tests and all that stuff comes back fine. And he was like, you're totally fine, like physically. And but then he goes, what's been going on with you lately?
Whoa, hold the phone, because that's the question that I'm literally reading a book called The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate, and he's a doctor, and he talks about how they don't ask that one question.
Yeah.
The one question that determines how you are feeling.
Right. And that's what he did. And I'll say that he was like an Asian doctor.
Yeah.
A young Asian doctor.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's been going on with you? And I was like, nothing. I mean, I'm just going to work and whatever. And he did a little bit more investigating, asked me a couple more questions. And then he was like, I can't remember exactly what he said. Now I can't remember. But he said something. And whatever he said set me off. And I just started crying.
Oh, I want to know what he said.
I wish I could remember what he said. But it was something really simple.
Yeah.
It was just
another statement of like an affirmative statement.
It was more of another question.
Okay. And
but I swear to God, I don't remember. But whatever he said, I just went, And then he was like, I think that you're having panic attacks.
Oh my God.
I think that you're actually having anxiety attacks.
Oh my God.
That's what's happening. He was like, because everything else is checking out. He's like, the only thing is that your heart rate is a little elevated, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because your EKG is completely clean. Like, you're a very healthy person.
Yeah.
He was like, but I think that's what's going on with you. And he was like, I think that you need to let something, whatever's going on, I think you need to let some things go, get some things off of you. Like, and I mean, I walked out of there and I felt so much better.
Really?
It was like instant
visceral
release.
Yes,
instant
visceral
release. Because your body gets so tense.
Yes.
From whatever stress or strife you're going through. We forget that, like, the mind-body connection is a real thing. Like,
the only thing.
Right.
It's not it's the only thing there is.
Yeah, mind-body-spirit connection is a real thing. So if your spirit is all, all over the place, your body is also, like, it's not going to be okay.
What kills me is that the English language dances around exactly what it is we're talking about. Like, the quote unquote clues to what we're saying are littered throughout the English language. Like, oh, I got so much on my chest. Like, what are you actually, you're like,
so
ding,
much,
ding, ding. Like,
so much on my shoulders.
So you're right. Like, you're literally right.
Get this monkey off my back.
Let's look at, why do you say this?
Yeah.
Like, well, because, the emotions come through our, like, chakra centers that come through and manifest as our organs that come through and have their own neural networks that are not necessarily decoded by the brain, but give feedback, and we can, like, interpret how we feel because they're called our feelings.
Right.
Like,
and I think what's also worth noting is that, like, so when, especially like this conversation about spiritual awakening and then having multiple ones, and they can be like, many ones, things that you wouldn't necessarily call a spiritual awakening, but like something like really big happening in your life. And then what I see them as is like a contraction and an expansion.
Let's go.
So it's like you're contracting and compounding into this one thing that's happening with you, right? And then, like, as soon as the release of it happens, then you're expanding again.
Yes.
Hopefully you learn something from it, or you've seen the through line of, like, what you're supposed to understand about it. And also bad things happen to people. So, like, there's also that. Like, sometimes bad shit happens and there is no lesson. It's just a bad thing that happens. But, like, sometimes there is something to be learned or something that you can grow from, so that you can see yourself and the world in a different way.
Yes.
Perspective
shifting.
Perspective shifting. And there is a contraction and expansion, and I think about it like like the universe does that all the time.
Yes.
It's like, a star contracts and then there's a supernova.
Yes.
Which scatters itself all over the universe again for another star to be born.
Yes.
So it's like this idea that it is always supposed to be, if we're reflections of the universe, it's always supposed to be happening. And, like, your life is not supposed to be just a straight line and monotone.
It's not at all. It's not at all.
And, if all things being equal, you are always supposed to be, like, contracting and expanding and going through something. And nobody is more special than another person in that regard. It's just like, you might even have years of, nothing happening.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
it drops out of the field.
And you're better than you've ever been.
The pendulum is how I like to kind of imagine that. Like, they say the pendulum of life will always swing both ways. Like, the further down you go, that's the same potential you have to shoot back up. So I think of, like, in my life, that was my contracting until, the squeeze was just, that was it. There was nowhere. And then that's when it just
popped.
Yeah.
Literally
it literally pops. And expanded into, everything. So that is the trajectory.
Yeah.
That is the trajectory. Whether it's one big one like what happened to me, or a series of events that create the inner knowing, that create the perspective shift.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
For our audience.
Yes.
So if you are knowing what you know now,
mm-hmm.
if you are having an experience like this, what is something that you would do differently? How would you navigate it? How would you tell someone else ask someone, what would you do? Knowing this now.
I would literally, because we don't necessarily have like community anymore, I would create at least like a text message group of like 4 friends who like know you, who are friends, right? If you have like 4 friends, which is a blessing in and of itself.
Right.
Who know who you are, know where you are, know what you're doing, send them your location, literally, and make sure there are eyes on you, because, what we're coming into understanding is, because we don't have community, the norm is to have a group around you that will solidify you in what's called grounding, and bring your spirit back into your body, or anchor you back into this dimension, or make sure you navigate the upper realm successfully, because not everyone does. Not everyone can, like, I just watched Avatar recently, Pandora Blue People, right? And it's called they call it going through the eye of Awa and then coming back, and I actually hearken that to the book we're gonna just speak to briefly at the end, of Water and Spirit, where Elder Malidoma Patrice Tomei, who I just absolutely adore, talks about how they have rituals that people don't come back from. And like, he was talking physical bodies. Like, he was saying they opened a physical portal in Africa. You're supposed to jump in, go to a certain level, and then shoot yourself back out and come back out. And he was saying, we lost a few guys. Wow. And that's just part of the ritual. And so it's like the same thing can happen, which is why you want your community to keep you grounded. So just like text your friends, let them know what's good. And if you have your wits about you in that way, like that you don't want to be, hospitalized again, like we're coming into this like, ooh, do we call the police for this? Like, no.
The answer is no.
The answer is absolutely not. It is a miracle that I landed we didn't even get into that, like how I wound up at Harry Potter World. It was a whole thing. Fortunately, I wound up, safe in a very nice Los Angeles facility, but that is not the case if you're in like rural Indiana. Who knows what they have, what dungeon they'll throw you in. But
I very quickly to the fact that so when you said that you had been in the ER multiple times and they knew you,
yes,
absolutely, that happened to me. Absolutely, because I hate to see it. I just kept having anxiety. I kept having these anxiety attacks, thinking that I was gonna die.
Yep.
Especially like after my mom died, there was a lot of
I'm
going to die. I would be afraid to get on the freeway, even though she didn't die. She died of a heart attack, but even though she didn't die of like a car accident, I was afraid to go on the freeway because people are crazy and they can crash. It was like a really innate fear of like just being out. I had agoraphobia, and so I would just be like, I'm gonna stay in my house. I mean, I got that now, but it's a little bit better. But it's less about like protecting my neck.
That's interesting that you say that, because when my mom got really sick, I started like locking all the doors and like closing doors and like putting the chain on the door, and I didn't know why I started doing that, but I really did.
I believe that it's just you're trying to protect. You're trying to get into a protective mode, and us being cancers, what do you think? Nesting. We're just trying to like so keep everything, but like I think that that whole thing of going to the doctor to help because it's just like, what's wrong with me? And another doctor, when I had another like episode, was like, and this was like the last straw, because he was just like, this doctor was very matter of fact. Last straw for me.
Okay.
But he was very matter of fact. He was like, listen, I can put you in a place where they have grippy socks. And
wow, really?
He really went there.
Okay.
He was like, I can put you in a place where they have grippy socks and you lose your autonomy and you can't figure out stuff on your own, and they'll put you on medication, or you can figure this out on your own. What do you want to do?
I hate that those are our options.
Yeah.
Because they're not the only options, but they're the ones that are most believed in now.
But he was so direct with it that it was like, damn, I really do need to figure this out.
Right.
I needed that.
Were you there for the pain, or were you there for the anxiety?
I was there for both.
Yeah.
I had pain and anxiety.
Yeah.
And I was in this hospital gown, and I straight up felt like Girl Interrupted. I felt crazy. And he came in there, and he just looked at me. He was like, girl, what is going on? What is going on with you? Figure your shit out. And I was like, I guess I gotta figure it out.
Damn. What did you do then? What was your next step?
Because then it was like, okay, when I came out of that, several days of psychosis, or like just feeling not in my body.
Okay, wait, this is a whole word. So you did go through some kind of psychosis, where quote unquote psychosis.
It was a quote unquote psychosis, because I wasn't like out of my mind.
Sure.
But I was so anxious that it was just like I couldn't feel rested in my body.
That's so real.
And it just felt so scary to be out in the world.
You could not pay me to have a panic attack again.
No,
you really could not.
It's horrid.
It would have to be probably at least 300 billion.
Yeah.
It's just the absolute, it's evil.
It's so like not being comfortable in your own body. It's like being in someone else's body and not having space to expand in it, because there's so much tightness. And then you try to so then, when I came out of it, I learned about, breathing techniques and like ways to like relieve the tension, and I just learned about anxiety in general and what it is and how to combat it.
Did you apply it to any aspect of any aspect of like oppression? Like, did it integrate with like the Black experience at all, or was it all just like, do your breathing, 6 people shot today, so and so released from murder without charges, do your breathing, like, or did it integrate in with our actual like lives?
I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but but I'm coming around.
No, you're good. You're so good. Let's go.
When Mike Brown died, that was a really rough time for me.
Yep.
I mean, it's all rough, but that, I don't know why, but that in particular was rough. I remember having to lay down.
Great.
So Ferguson, Missouri.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember.
That's the one that did it for me. Yes.
Yeah, and I remember talking to my roommate at the time and being like, I don't feel good. I think I need to lay down. And then proceeding to have an anxiety attack, like, about it. But then I was going into work, and I was working for a friend who, like, asked me to do graphic design work for him, and I didn't have to be there. I'll just say that. I was doing a solid for a friend. And there was this guy who also it was a real estate agency, and he was like part owner of the real estate agency. And he always challenged me. Like, he always, like,
this guy.
Yeah, and he was a white dude. The person that I was working for, who was my friend, was a person of color. He was, from the Middle East. And but he was such a good dude. So I was like, I'll if he didn't pay me, I would have did it for free, because he was just such a good dude.
Yeah.
But this other motherfucker.
Yeah, the other guy, though.
Why he had to be there. And he was from bumfuck Iowa, whatever. But every time I would say something, he would just challenge me. And it would be like, why are you so... What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I, I pushed it aside, whatever. And I remember at one point I said, I don't have to be here. I don't have to... I can do whatever I want. I don't have to be here. And he didn't like that.
Of course not.
I don't remember what was said, but I was very adamant. This is light work for me. Anyway, it was the day that they were doing the hearing for the cop who killed and it came out that he was free to go. Basically not guilty. And I was having a hard day, and it was a Saturday, I think. I'm pretty sure it was a Saturday because nobody else was in the office, and I was just supposed to be there to do a couple things there, and then also just be in the office in case somebody wanted to come in, whatever. So here comes old boy, and he shows up, and he's just doing some shit around the office, and I'm not paying attention to him. I'm doing my work. So at one point, he comes up to me and he was like, do you mind moving? Because I have to do blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what the fuck he wanted me to move for. But I'm not excited about moving because I've been sitting here all day. I'm just trying to get my work done and finish. And so I exasperated. Mm-hmm. I just went, okay, And he did not like the fact that I huffed at him.
Yeah.
And so he said that. He was like, oh, why do you have to have an attitude about it? And I was like,
jump on the angry black woman.
Right. I said, oh, I don't have an attitude. I had an attitude, you would know if I had an attitude. This is not attitude, bro. I can breathe if I want to.
Yeah.
And I exasperated. I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't go, oh my God. I didn't do all that.
No neck rolls.
And I even said, okay, so what's your problem? And he lost his mind. And nobody else is in the office, and he's going off on me.
Yeah.
Just saying, you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm your boss. Mm-hmm. I write your checks. I said, you
just
don't
the
have
need to dominate, the need to show dominance.
He went off on me. You don't do anything here. You should be sweeping the floors if nobody is da-da-da. He just went off. And I was like, I was so wound up.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened at that point because the way that I wanted to just start wailing on him, I could have really lost my mind.
Those were the times.
But instead, I said, I'm leaving. I have to leave right now. And he was like, you think it's okay to just walk out on you? And I said, yeah, I actually do think it's okay.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm not responsible for myself if I don't leave right now. So I'm going to leave. And you have no idea how I am holding myself back. Oh, you think that you're tough? Da, da, da. Fine. What? You can leave. Da, da, da. And so I go to my car, which is not that far away from where we're at. I go to my car and I sit there for maybe 2 minutes and then I just start sobbing.
Yeah.
And I'm just, anxiety, what's it called? Hyperventilating and just the whole nine. For 15 minutes, I'm doing that.
My mentor says the problem is never, the subject of the problem is never in the room with us.
Yo.
So same thing for y'all in the room. It was not the
He did not understand what was happening.
Yeah.
He could not have understood what was happening.
No.
So after I bawled my eyes out and calmed down, I remember calling my aunt and being like, I just left work. Da, 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 da. And she was like, call your friend and go home. Just go home. If you're okay to go home. But call your friend and tell him exactly what happened. And don't leave nothing out.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And I called him and he was like, you don't have to tell me.
Oh, did he know?
Oh, of course he's a person of color.
Okay.
He knew what the fuck was up.
Yeah.
So he said, go home.
Yeah, you're
and
good.
And don't come in tomorrow either. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it.
And this is another key frame moment of it being handled.
Yeah.
It being handled.
Because it was like, there's no way in the world that this man is yelling at me for huffing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I guess he had just got tired of my shit. Which is crazy.
We know that's not what it was, though.
But that's the thing, because it's like whenever, and there's a whole thing about black women in
the workforce,
in corporate spaces, and I do not do well in the corporate space because
me neither.
If I got a problem, you gonna know about it.
Me neither.
If I've got a problem, you got one too. Like, that's the truth of it. Yeah. You got a problem too, because it's like, I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to be a bitch. I'm not going to be like, you need to do, I'm not doing all that. But we're not
just going to like roll over.
But I'm not going to pretend like nothing's wrong and just be smiling in your face, shucking
and jiving. Equal personhood. It comes back down to like equal personhood. The paradigm that we're in of you are separate from me, and because of that, I have to show you, or have to get something out of you, or you have to reconfirm for me that I'm the big guy on top. Right. Like, that's where
really
all
thought
of that
was the truth.
From.
And he really thought that was the truth.
They do.
And I had to, and I was trying to correct him, because that's the way that I corrected him, was like, I'm leaving, because if I don't, you don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to be that way. All this aggression that you got and thinking that I'm being aggressive
has nothing to do with us.
You don't know what aggressive looks like. That's
the energy that I had, like, 2014 to 2019. Right. Yeah, just the level.
So when that happened, it was, and then like when I came back in, they had made a whole thing about like, it was just, they were wrapping up my contract or whatever. And I was like, I'm fine with that. Again, I was doing my homie a favor. And I felt no problem with just leaving that job. I knew I would find something else. I was not pressed.
Yeah.
But it was just like, what I can or can't believe is that he gets away with it. He gets to just stay here, because he's got a stake in the company, whatever. But he gets to say whatever the fuck he wants to. And I was very detailed to my friend about what he said. And he was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I understand. Do not come into work tomorrow.
I would love to... This is where, like, where does creating your own reality come into play when we can be so enmeshed in, like, the victimizer, I'm better than you, I need to show you, dominance, like, masculine, feminine vibration, clash type thing. It's like, I'm sure you hear a lot about like masculine energy or like divine masculine archetype, right? Of energy.
Yeah, but that was on a...
This was not. This is what's called a disembodied masculine archetype.
Right.
Whenever, and that's the joke of it all. Whenever you have the masculine needing to say stuff like that, needing to like show and be like macho, I'm the boss of you. Yeah. That's actually
like we're on a school ground, like that, on a playground. It's so crazy. And so I think when all of that was happening, I was, coming back, we're doing the full circle. There was a lot of anger.
Yes.
Because I was feeling challenged just by existing. Just simply by existing. From friends. There were people that I had known for years who would come on my Facebook when I was using Facebook, who would come on my Facebook. I'd be going in about like cops and whatever.
Oh, the Facebook time of 2014.
Right. And they'd be like, well, we just have to respect certain
people.
My
God. The same thing would happen.
When I tell you, I was literally at getting ready to walk to a protest.
Yeah.
And I had a former friend, college buddy who was messaging me about how it's complicated and complex, and
All of it.
I mean, just going on, and I mean literally Facebook messaging me
Oh.
as I'm walking to a protest.
I got it all too. Yes.
And I was
yes.
like, and of course he was a white dude, a white queer, a gay man.
That's its own.
And I was just like, do you not understand? You really don't understand, actually, what the fuck is going on. You have no clue, and you have no right to tell me how to feel about this. There had been times where I was at a protest and looking around and being like, this is so, I can't believe that this is my life and this is happening. One time I was at a die-in with my friend, and I'm literally laying on the ground right next to them, and I start crying, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I am not okay.
No,
because this could actually be happening. This could actually be me or you or any of these people around us.
Yeah,
and that is why I'm not okay." And so there was this rage,
the sacred rage of it,
that I was
sacred
feeling.
Rage,
and it was so.
It will take us out. That's the thing about sacred rage.
Yeah,
like, it is what will send you to the hospital. It is what will cause the panic. Like, because we don't have the processing pathways,
right,
to process the sacred rage, because the therapeutic industry doesn't know what it is or acknowledge it, because the DSM is created by majority white people that don't understand and pathologize the feelings of Black, Indigenous people of color as it relates to colonialism. So we're up a creek with no paddle, literally being taken out, by the suppression of these kinds of feelings, leading to all kinds of autoimmune disease and other things. Sacred rage, unprocessed,
yes,
will manifest, as all things do manifest into material form. And so it's like, this is another reason why Quantum Black Girl, to talk about these experiences that we have,
right,
in relation to, yes, being like awakened spiritual baddies, whatever, awakened quantum Black girls, and hopefully, and reconciling that with our just the way that we are in the world.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people also know that we can unsubscribe to, this is where it gets tricky. And I love to kind of talk about this one wonderful woman that I follow on social media. Her name is Erin Lyons. She talks a lot about how it's really triggering. And again, I can speak personally about my own self. It is very triggering to be told, well, just stop believing you're a victim.
Right. And that you can change your reality.
And it's like, someone has to say that is what it is, though. And that's also why Quantum Black Girl, because we go through and have gone through what it means to be a victim and react as a victim and still look at the world and still want the best for your people and still all of these things.
Right.
And it's like, the way we can begin to transmute all of this and go through the ancestral pain and like bring all of this information and embody it all is like by first starting to accept and understand, like, energy doesn't have, like, we are so loved by Source Creator that it will let us do whatever we want to do. Like, that's free will, baby. So if you want to be enraged until your last breath, guess what?
You can do
that. You can do that. And this isn't saying that you shouldn't, but it's like when you have the perception that consciousness creates matter, creates your reality, this is why turn the TV off. Like, this is what these phrases mean. Like, when you know consciousness creates matter, you then can manipulate somebody else into their own self-fulfilling prophecies of limitation, which is all that's been going on with Black people.
Period.
That's it. That's it.
I think
that's why Quantum Black Girl as well.
Completely.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes it is really hard to believe that you are more significant than you are when the world tells you that you are not. Constantly, regularly. Yes. Constantly and regularly tell you that you ain't shit.
Yes.
And I don't just mean that as like, that is from the Black perspective, but it's also just the perspective of humankind, because we are told that, like, without God or without our parents or without a significant other, that you just ain't shit. Without
hair,
without hair, without looking a certain way, without having a perfect
nose,
without being thin, without being the right clothes, you just ain't color. Shit. So you got the right colorism. Exactly. You have to look, be, feel, do, say certain things, be a certain way.
It's all very convincing.
And so
very convincing.
Imagine, if you will, that you
imagine a world.
Imagine, and that is all, like, that's part of manifestation is visualization, but like
everything came from someone's imagination.
Literally everything that has ever been made, ever. If you stop and think about that, you're like, damn, wow.
Including structures.
Except for nature. Nature makes itself. Structures. But everything that human beings have ever imagined were created and now live in the world. Manifested in the world.
So anyway, go on. So imagine. So with that in mind,
imagine.
Pun intended. Imagine a world.
Imagine, if you will, that you are not insignificant. That you matter to matter. That you're here because you wanted to be. And I hear a lot of rhetoric, a lot of people say, like, I didn't ask to be here.
Yeah, but a lot of that. It's a lot of that.
But Toni Morrison says, exactly, I think that we did ask. It's like, I didn't ask to be born, but I think that we did. Because
what did she say about that?
I mean, that's part of the quote, but I don't remember the rest. But it's just like I think that we did ask to be here. Because think about what your life has been. Sure, there has been lots of turmoil. Sure that you have gone through things. But I don't believe that your whole life was torment. I don't believe that. There must have been a moment in your life where you thought to yourself, this is what joy feels like. This is what I feel like I belong. I feel like harmonious and happy and expanded. And it's hard because sometimes we lose sight of that particular moment in time because of all the things that are happening in your life. You forget about that spark of joy, and you sometimes can't carry it with you. I know for myself that, like, when I have a win, like I do something really good and I'm like, oh shit, I did that.
Yeah.
Then immediately you're looking for the next thing to do.
Yeah, guilty.
Right?
Guilty.
And you're looking for the next win. And you don't just sit and rest in the fact that you did something really incredible or, fun.
Which is the first, it's literally routinely programmed out of, it's like anti-capitalistic to do that, because that means you're satisfied with what you have. You can't be satisfied, and you can't get more unless you're grateful for what you have.
Right.
It's amazing how neutralizing capitalism is. Well, destructive, not neutralizing, but yeah.
So if you are a part of a greater whole, if you are part of something much bigger than yourself, I personally believe that you know, and it says so in the Bible, but you know, whatever.
Let's go.
But it's like,
we're gonna get into the Bible for sure.
But if you are made in God's image, and then that means that you are a part of God, right?
Thank you. Let's talk about what that part is, because here is what 9/10 of Christians get wrong.
Talk about that.
And that's where everything becomes dangerous. The dualism, like we live in a dualistic society, which is like, again, there's you, there's me, there's God. God is outside of me. God has nothing to do with me, and I'm not as good or as great as God. And it's like, that's the separatist nature.
Right.
If we are made in God's image, what does that mean exactly? Well, we are a fractal. What is a fractal? A fractal is a separate yet completely containing the whole within the separate piece.
Right.
We contain the complete wholeness of the creator in our separate piece. That's what a fractal is. It's not a part of the creator or a sliver or one aspect but not the others, or you know, like there was a great visual. Someone was like, you can take a cup of the sea out of the sea, but like what part do you have? Right. It's like, it's still the same whole sea that you've just scooped out. You know, that's what we are. And that means that we are endowed with the commanding nature of the creator. Right. And it's in not owning that, or again, praying to a thing outside of yourself.
For sure.
You know, that people get hung up on because they don't want to have. I mean, taking agency over your own life is, one, the only way, but two, is scary for a lot of people because what do you mean now? You know, it can be really like, it's just scary. Like it's safer to like pray to a bigger thing.
Absolutely.
But that's why we have to come into terms with the word and. Like, my father and I are one, and yet my father is greater than I. Neville Goddard. Exactly.
Right.
We love Neville Goddard.
I love me some Neville Goddard, man.
That says it all.
Yeah.
That is the nature of what we are.
Yeah.
There is an aspect of us that's greater than us, but it's not outside of us.
And if you want to talk about, like, in quantum mechanics,
let's go.
Quarks. Like, a quark is a particle of an atom, right? And so, like, two particles that are separated, they can be across the universe from each other.
I love this.
But they've been separated, but they are from the same place. They will act the same way, no matter where they are. They will act in alignment. And so if you're thinking of it in those terms, they are quantumly entangled.
Let's go.
So if they're entangled, if I am a part of God and God is within me and I ask for a thing, then I'm just asking myself, right? But I also am asking God because I'm a part of a larger whole.
Exactly.
You know, and it's God, source, universe, spirit, whatever. Yeah. I speak to my ancestors, who then speaks to source. You know, like, and it's however you do it. There's a million different ways that people do it, right? And so you can even be Christian and do that, right?
I mean, that should be exactly what's going on.
Yeah, because, like, you know, when you talk about Jesus being the Son of God, it's really just the Son, as in Ray's Son of God. Like, he is the Ray, you know? Oh my God, I can go into...
We really could. Like, but who is Yeshua?
Right.
Exactly, like, he's just a man.
Right, just a man giving a message.
He's just a man who is vibrating in a way that we can too vibrate in that way.
That's literally all that man came here for was to teach us how to vibrate in the same way.
Yeah.
And so,
and he would say, you are the one. I mean, cue another person who I love watching too, Dr. Samuel Lee. Mm-hmm. He always says, you are the one you have been looking for. And I love him because he takes the Bible passages and he makes them understandable in terms of quantum mechanics, or just really correctly stating what the Bible says.
Right.
Which it's like, you are the way. I am the way. You.
Right.
It's reading from the first person. Like, know thyself. To thyself be true. Within us,
own self be true.
We have the keys to our own self-fulfillment, like, within. Mm-hmm. That's why when we try to be someone else,
don't work.
It doesn't work.
You have to be, and
then you'll get autoimmune disease.
And because and when we were going back to like how Black women don't do well in corporate America, Black women also have the highest amount of autoimmune diseases. Because
for a multitude of reasons,
right? But it also can be linked to that.
Absolutely,
it's trying to be this pinnacle of mammyism. I don't know what it is, but people keep wanting to come to Black women in these corporate spaces, expecting us to fulfill all of their prophecies and handle all of their problems, but then just smile on the face, come in happy as a clam, do no harm, feel nothing, just work,
placate the viewers' own anxiety around their whiteness and what that may mean in relation to being in space with a Black woman.
And the thing I know about being a Black woman and existing in those spaces is that I'm just trying to get there, do my work, and get the fuck out.
Exactly.
And get my check. That's what I'm trying to do.
You and absolve you.
I don't give a fuck about nothing you got going on, unless you're my friend there.
Yeah.
And we kick it or whatever. But I don't give a fuck about nothing that you got going on in your personal life. I don't care. I'm not interested. Unless it has to do with work, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And I'm just trying to solve the problem. And then there's a whole thing about because I used to get this all the time. I am the most smiley person that I know. And I used to get, you don't smile enough.
Oh,
and
no,
I'm like,
really?
Excuse me? I used to get that I don't smile enough.
In the corporate work?
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's like when somebody comes to you, you just have to smile more. And that was a woman telling me that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Cool. It's just and then I would get really weird comments. One person complained that I smelled. And I was like, okay, this is out of control. If you know me, I like to smell good.
I was about to say, did I not just use your amazing caramel butter,
caramel butterscotch.
lotion?
I like to smell like I'm about to get ate up, right? I have the gourmand smell,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really weird, just weird stuff. Anyway, the idea that Black women especially, have to kowtow to these ideas of perfection and very specific perfection and never crack. And that is why statistically we are edged out after 2 years. Because I know that I was after 2.5 years. I was edged, and I had conversation around it with other Black women, and anecdotal conversations oh yeah, girl, that's happened to me. And then I started seeing the study maybe 5 or 6 years or so after that, and I was like, oh, so I'm not crazy.
It's perfect that you're saying that, because it leads me to statistics of it all and what, the statistics of everything mean and what we can do about it.
Right.
this becomes another like very tricky, very triggering type of thing, because we're not arguing with the statistics. We're saying, how do we bridge the new earth such that those statistics no longer dictate the outcome?
Right.
Because we understand, like, okay, infinite possibilities. How do we bring infinite possibilities to a world that like has these statistics, right? And what they get wrong is like statistics are like a photograph. They indicate a snapshot of what is, and our world loves saying, no, this is how it will be forever. And like these statistics future project, we love our trajectory projections of like, that's what we don't love anything more than like a 5-year projection analysis of like whatever. And so how do we like keep these things in mind while creating the best version of ourselves and our reality, and of creating ease in our life, and creating a reality that reflects back to us in our hologram ease? And well, here's the first thing. Again, like, it's it's an internal individual thing. It's like you don't go out telling people like you're wrong or any of those kinds of things. It's like, we know, we can quote like the Lion King on this, when the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. And that's very profound wisdom, because that is the same wisdom of Neville Goddard, the same wisdom of Abdullah, the same wisdom of Jesus, don't look back, pillar of salt, all of these things. What are they really saying? Like, they're actually speaking to exactly, okay, you have all these terrible statistics. Everybody's dying. This is projected of black women. This is people killing in the street, blah, blah, blah. Like, we have the answer, which is actually shut out everything.
Yeah.
We know this to be true of manifestation, which we'll get into in our next episode. But I want to leave us with like, okay, we have these stats. This has been our experience. And we know the first thing is ignoring the outer circumstances, the physical outer circumstances of our reality. Like, sounds crazy, sounds blah blah blah, all of this. How am I supposed to ignore? I guess we'll get into all of that as well, but like, that's the first step, because you're saying, again, we live in a time vortex, and you have to have your intention catch up. You have to hold your intention long enough for it to materialize in your hologram. But the first thing is like, we put the statistics down. And that's not out of, I know I struggled with this, like, this was before like all of the step away from your computer, it's okay, you don't have to argue with everybody. It is to our benefit as a people to put the statistics down, to put it all down.
Right.
That's not abandoning us as black people.
Not at all.
Because what happens when you do that is, if everyone individually does that and works on themselves such that we can all hold a higher level of vibration, it will lift everything everywhere.
Right.
And these are the hard, tricky, triggering, painful truths about like being here. It's not all what we've been told.
No. And
it's not even all about like black people stick together so we can all like, that has to be, because you will be the odd person out. If you got it bad for like whatever you might have gotten it bad for me it was like talking white. You've been turned on, all of this, we have our own battles with that. And it's like, we love our people, and to save us, there's gonna be some of us doing some weird shit and saying some weird triggering shit.
Right.
Which is like,
I think what's triggering is, and you touched on it obviously, but like what's triggering is that you have control over your own reality. Like you're a black woman in a society that it is not built for you, and you have a manic episode, and all society wants to do is pathologize it and make it better, quote unquote, for you, so that you can just go back to normal and go back to work. And you know, you turn your brain off, you watch TV, you know, go do whatever it is to get your mind off of it, off of the fact that you are this society is not built for you, so that you can go to work
and continue to contribute to the society that's not built for you,
so that you can go to work. You know, like it's just constantly about work and sustaining and scraping and surviving good times,
staying in survival.
And you're just like constantly in this loop of doing it over and over again, and scarcity and fear, and that's what is built into capitalism and this society. But understanding that there is a duality there, because it's like there has to be an understanding that within this society that we're in, within capitalism, it's not just about getting money, because like abundance is more than just a dollar. Like, no. I love the fact that I can call in abundance, and I get it in a myriad of ways.
Yes.
It is not just about how much money I got. It's also about resources. It's also about, like, if I have a friend who needs a job or a house or is looking for anything, I have resources at my fingertips that I can give to that friend. I know so many people that if this person's looking for a job, that person is looking for somebody who's looking for a job, and I can connect those two people.
Here's the key.
Yeah, like that's resources.
That's resources, and what you said about the duality of it all is perfect, because we could look at that as, you know, the going to work, the doing this, like we are in this matrix that exists. Okay, we could call like all of that ho-hum.
Yeah.
The ho-hum of life that was created from something. Okay. Right. What was all of this created from? Yeah. You can exist in all of that, and that just work with the stuff of which everything is from.
Right.
That's what changes where we are.
Right.
Not working within where we are. You work with where the stuff is from, and then that brings what you're talking about, the resources, the this, the that.
Yeah. Because the abundance isn't about like drawing from nothing. Like, I think that when people talk about manifestation, they think that it's about coming from just the ether, when creation is already done. Everything is already made. Everything that has been done, will be done, has been done, etc., except for the things that are in the future. But the future is now. Like, right. We can really get into it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
but
we will.
We will. But like the fact that you are, again, you come from source, so therefore source is already within you, and all you have to do is ask. Asking it is given. Asking it is given. Shall be open. Right. Asking it is given. It's always within your reach. But the mindset, it's so still to this day hard for me to believe the things that I believe. It's hard for me to be like, I'm going to manifest this thing and believe that it is coming to me. It's still to this day hard for me. And I've been in this realm for, you know, years and years at this point, like more than a decade.
Are you saying balancing like what can be perceived as the duality of it existing in this very like non-magical world, but knowing that it's sustained by the only thing there is, which is the source, which you can work with directly, which by which you know you will receive what you ask for, even though statistically you're not supposed to this and that, and black
very
women,
much,
and you're
literally
the least
all of that
respected thing in the world, and like all of these statistics that we love to like tote around.
Yeah.
At what point do we look at the duality of it all?
But it's not even about statistic. It's about like your lived experience too. Because like if you are a person coming out of poverty, like let's say for instance your parents struggled, or you were you came from a single parent home, and and I did, where there would be times where the only way that the heat was coming on is if you turned the oven on. That like, but I was still from a middle class family, but sometimes we struggled. And so there is a scarcity thing that's happening. There's a fear of not having enough, or a fear that you're going to, that's why some people hoard. It's because they think that if they let go of a thing, then, oh my God, it's lost forever. And how am I going to get it back?
And like, the duality of that, you have to let go to receive, and like all of these things that just, quite frankly, don't give a damn about your individual circumstance.
Right. So that's where it gets hard.
That's where it gets triggering.
Yeah, that's where the trigger is because you're trying to parse together a semblance of worthiness. You're trying to not let past experiences
dictate future outcomes.
Exactly. The fact that you keep like
I just feel what you're saying.
That you keep like finishing my sentence is perfect. But like, and so the fact that those two things happening, but then also knowing that you have control, or understanding that you have control, that you have some control, because like, there are things that are for you and that aren't for you. A lot of times, like a thing that you're trying to manifest isn't for you. And one thing that I stick to with understanding that is the universe never says no. It always says yes, maybe, or something better. And so like
delicious.
So it's never a no. It's yeah, you can have that, or maybe, but maybe we can
get something better.
Maybe we can freak it. Or something better is coming for you. So you want a job, a very specific job, and you manifest for that job, and the job doesn't come.
This has happened to me.
But then you get a better offer.
Yeah, and that has been the case. I just really want to drill home like the complete, utter duality of what it is we're saying, like, because I'm so conscious of like who our audience might be,
right?
And especially when I think of who I used to be. So maybe they're like, that's what's hard about this. Maybe the people that I used to be won't be here, but like how can you say manifestation or even any of this is real when like, slaves suffered and didn't they just want to be somewhere else maybe, or like these kinds of things.
There's a person that I follow. I can't think of her name, but I will put it in. We can put it in like
show notes,
some sort of show. Yeah, the show notes. But she talks directly to that.
What does she have to say?
Because she talks about Harriet Tubman.
Ah, yes.
You know who I'm talking about?
I think I do. I got her ebook, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like the quantumness of Harriet Tubman. So she did what we were talking about being like, oh, you think we can't.
Yeah.
Blocked.
Right. So she talks about how Harriet Tubman had a vision for herself. Like Harriet Tubman absolutely had a vision that I'm freeing these people. I don't care what these people got to say. I don't care what the circumstances are.
I don't care what my own people have to say.
I don't even care that I am disabled. That woman was disabled. And at some point was, while she was doing it, she was disabled and older. It did not matter. That woman was freeing enslaved people, whether come hell or high water.
Yep.
She had the vision.
Yep.
Literally had visions about it. Nat Turner had a vision. He knew that he was supposed to have his rebellion because of a solar eclipse. He saw the solar eclipse and he was like, this is the day. But he had visions since he was a child. He was a freedom fighter, an enslaved freedom fighter.
Okay.
And he, had one of the most successful uprisings, slave uprisings of the late 1800s.
Okay.
And I can send you a whole bunch of information about that.
Yes,
but
please.
As I was talking about before, because of his visions, since he was a little boy, and then he saw that particular eclipse, because we just had a solar eclipse.
Yes, we did.
And there was a lunar eclipse, but then there was a solar eclipse before that.
Okay.
And so I saw on Instagram somebody was talking about how he, because of a solar eclipse, was like, today's the day. Because he had visions of him and white and black spirits fighting.
Oh.
And he knew that day, today is the day to uprise. And so, black people have always resisted. They always have.
Yeah.
Just because, a thing happened, of course it did. Of course, this horrible tragedy of humanity happened, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't resistance. It doesn't mean that people didn't fight for their own freedom. I get real annoyed when white people say things like white people gave black people freedom. I'm sorry, no they didn't.
Right.
We gave ourselves freedom,
and it was never theirs to give.
Period.
It was never theirs to allot.
I get real annoyed, but those are the white people who don't study things, and they just start talking crazy, and you're just like, okay, well, you don't know history. You have never opened a book, and I'm okay with that. I can't argue with you because you will not. Even after I tried to tell you different, you won't open a book. It's fine. You can stay stupid. Yeah. But
let sleeping dogs lay.
But I think because we have these examples of black folk, and those are just two. But there are many examples of when we learn about black history, those black people saw something different for themselves.
Key right there.
They saw they had more oppression than we do now.
The key is right there.
They
saw
had
something different.
They had more oppression than we did now. Did not have the same opportunities. Not to say that we got it super duper easy now, but we got it easier than they did in the 1900s. It was hard. Black people, they wouldn't even look at you.
And if you did, you had a bigger problem. Cue sinners. But what I just got out of, back to who I love, Dr. Jennifer Mullen. I mean, this wraps in, she just held an office hours on neurodivergence or spiritual emergence. And the key of it all was what we were just talking about, which is, again, imagination. SpongeBob imagination. The West doesn't consider the imagination to be anything when in fact it's the only thing there ever was that has created all there is.
Yeah.
We just brought it back on home to everything that is ever created passed through someone's imagination. It's just whose imagination is being brought forth into this reality.
Yeah.
And we just have to hold on to, we have to know that what we imagine is absolutely possible.
Yeah.
And absolutely possible.
And even, you can take that a step further. God's imagination.
Yes.
The universe's imagination. Source's imagination created us.
Yes. And if Source wanted to know itself through us.
Right. And if we have an imagination, it is coming from a place. I believe when I'm an illustrator, and I believe that a lot of the time when I'm drawing, it's not coming from me. A lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm just like, laying around and no thoughts, no thoughts in my head. And I have a spark of an idea. And it's just like, where did that come from? That's cool. Like, and then I have the urge to express it.
Yes.
And that's where my illustrations come from. And then sometimes when I'm in the thick of making that thing, I don't remember nothing about the strokes. I don't remember how I'm putting it together. Like when I'm really in flow, it's like it just is manifesting. It's just being created, and I'm just there for the ride. It's just my body.
I love hearing about your flow state as I in my own life seek to find mine and what that looks like.
Yeah,
it's fun to hear about. Yeah,
and we can talk about that because it's just like it's really interesting to just literally be along for the ride and finding the joy in that too. Is like, it is we all have, not just, creators, illustrators and stuff, but we all have that divine spark. We all have that ability to be in flow. It is a flow of a current of something being expressed through you. And whether that's, words, images, music, etc., or more mundane things, like you're cooking or you're, cleaning. I don't know, but it's just, but those are expressions. And so I very often feel like when I'm doing very mundane things like cleaning or whatever, just like I'm maintaining the space for my spirit, for myself, so that I have space in my mind to create. So
the interconnection between your physical space and what's going on within is like is one to one.
Here is the proof. Here is the proof. My apartment is
immaculate vibes.
I feel so nested and at home here, and it is a source of inspiration for me. And then it makes me feel like even when I'm not doing, expression or whatever, I still am creative. I'm still in that creative mode, even if I'm just resting,
Yes.
So, I think to kind of bring this all home.
Exactly. As the sun literally sets beautifully on us at this time.
I think to bring this all home, we are in our darkest moment, when we are in our deepest, solemnest space of sometimes despair, sometimes grief, sometimes even boredom. I think that it's important to not look at yourself as one. You are not a singular entity.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
A lot of people talk about mushrooms and how the mycelial network, they're always talking to each other. Frightening, but they are. And I think that it's important to understand that we are always connecting to each other in ways that a lot of us can't even perceive. Just like how you're always finishing my sentences or like thinking of the thing that I'm thinking of, like we're able to communicate in that way.
Yeah.
And you just got to let it happen. But sometimes when we are in those spaces and knowing that we are not alone in that very particular way is super important. Knowing that like wherever you are in your mind or your heart, your spirit, your body is not where you will stay.
And if you want to get real with it, like, you know, as you're saying, as we know here in Quantum Black Girl, time is not a singular, it's not a line.
It's not a straight
Everything
arrow.
is happening all at once. You can and do exist in the multiple densities above us that are more nebulous liquid light forms.
Your higher self.
Your higher self is literally exactly that. The part of you that can see all of the books of your life, can see outside of space-time as we exist outside of space-time. That's who you want to talk to. Why would you want to talk to someone that can't see the next page when there's an aspect of you on a higher dimension that is a faster vibration? Because when you come down, it gets denser. You go up, it gets less dense. That's literally the difference between steam and ice, the rate of vibration. That's with all things.
Right.
And
this,
so it's
this
like,
pillow is vibrating.
Yes.
Even though it looks like a solid thing.
Yes.
You know, like that's
as are
just,
we.
We're always, always growing, always
things.
changing, always moving. Even
Always
when we're at
moving.
rest, there are on a cellular level, we're always changing.
Yes.
On the outside, we're always changing. Your heart energy is expanded, beyond you.
Yes.
So what you're feeling, other people can feel. Like when you start to cry, other people start to cry. That's a thing.
Yes.
So like,
that's what, the never alone aspect of it all.
Yeah.
Go up, see what you're doing.
And don't be afraid. I think that being afraid is like part of it. And be skeptical. I would argue be extremely skeptical. Always question what you're feeling. Because like it could, like you're like, oh yeah, I don't know about all this woo-woo stuff. Like what? It's not about woo-woo. It's about where you can go outside of yourself, outside of the programming.
Yeah.
Like there is a program happening with you. And like, everybody always is talking about the Matrix, whatever. Like, I love that movie too. But we don't have to always talk about the Matrix. We're also just talking about when you are born, you are programmed to believe that there is a thing that happens to you or things only happen to you in this particular way.
Or only for other people and not you.
And you just have to accept it. And that is incorrect.
It's not true.
It is absolutely incorrect, and you can always change your reality. And it can even start with not having to do any woo-woo stuff. It's just about writing down the things that you believe and writing down the things that you don't believe and comparing those two things. And then really disseminating, really breaking down like, what does it mean to be me fundamentally? What do I want to change? How do I want to change? Who can I reach out to change those things? It can get really like, microcosmically, like, intricate.
Yes.
But it's not about like, it doesn't have to be woo woo. It can also just be extremely structured. And if you want your life to change, if you want to be different, if you want a different life, if you want to see things move for you in a different way, move.
Say that. Say exactly
just
that.
Move.
And then
stop sitting and waiting for something to happen to you. Move.
Yeah. That's a big part of it.
Or you will be moved.
That's another reason why Quantum Black Girl. Like, if you don't have to come into this information by the way of being moved, like, don't. Let us have been. This is what I just say on my own personal TikTok. Like, let us have been the people that went through it the hard way.
Ugh.
That's the other thing, like free will, we are choosing actively the hard way.
Yeah.
Within almost everything.
Always.
And we don't, as a people and as individuals, we
Yeah.
don't have to, but that's
Right.
just the paradigm we're in.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the paradigm of the hard way.
Right.
When we can, one, know there is paradigm 2, that's the easy way. Let's
Right.
choose the paradigm of the easy way.
Mm-hmm.
But don't believe anything we're saying. Just take what resonates, leave
Yeah.
what doesn't.
Very much so.
Yeah, listen to yourself.
Very, very much so.
Listen to yourself.
Always listen to yourself. All right. I think
I
that
love
is... I love you too. I love having conversations with Lindsay. I love the conversations that we have because they're always so expressive.
We didn't even talk about how we know each other,
Oh.
which in and of itself
Yeah.
is one of my own. Maybe we'll save it for the next episode,
Yeah,
which
let's
is
totally do that.
manifesting
Yeah.
and how I manifested Tesh into my life.
Oh my God.
I did. I did.
I mean, listen, I think I manifested you too. Like, I mean,
did.
I obviously did. And it'll just be, yeah, for the next time.
Yeah, we'll start with that next time.
But I sincerely want to thank you for being here. I'm so glad to have you in my space. I'm glad to be able to have your voice and mine intermingle and speak to a larger audience. I hope that we have given you just a little bit, because there's so much more. It gets way deeper. This is a very like small amount. This is a sprinkle
Yeah.
of a larger understanding. But I hope that it resonates with you and that you get something out of it, and that you have some good takeaways. Also, we'll set up a way for you to ask questions. So that for our next podcast, that we'll maybe answer a couple questions if you have some.
Yeah.
We're not super duper experts, but we are experts in experience. And so we can
Direct experience. I don't think there's actually any level higher than direct experience.
Yeah, true.
You can't get any.
Yeah. So we can answer questions, and then we can also just like direct you into, point you in the right direction of someone who could give you a good answer.
So many resources.
So on that note, I think that we're gonna close out.
Yeah, that's it for this episode. Tune in next episode where we talk all things manifestation.
Ooh, my favorite.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great week.